Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Hastings from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. We are now joined by our guest this week, Brick McDermott from Cunningham and Company. Brick, is this your third or fourth time on the show?
I think it's the fourth time.
I think it is the fourth time. We're all excited to hear what you have to say today. Every time you come in here, you educate us on what's going on in the mortgage world, and obviously it's a pretty hot topic right now. And you have come up with a very magical, took you a long time to come up with this, but you're referring to it as the Trump bump because rates are doing what? They're going up.
They're going up. That's right. It's amazing. And it was day before the election, I sent a market update out once a week usually and sent something out, say, if Clinton wins, this is what I think will happen. If Trump wins, this is what will happen. And at that time, I had no clue Trump would win. I mean, it was just
I think we were all surprised. Yeah.
Very surprised.
Had no clue. He didn't have a chance.
Exactly. So it was a shock. But the biggest thing is with Trump, he's gonna just with his policies. It sounds like, and of course he's not even inaugurated yet.
To January 20th, right?
Right, but he sounds like he's gonna do a lot of deregulation, which for mortgages, that's just Dodd-Frank has really been a bear to our industry. So hopefully that will loosen up a little bit and loosen up credit. And also tax reform and infrastructure, stuff that's going to potentially add jobs and start growing the economy. And, of course, when the economy grows, rates go up. And my thought was, okay, well, if Trump wins, then, yeah, we could see eventually the rates going up a lot quicker than Clinton because Clinton would be more of the same.
Right.
But I was expecting it to be maybe in March. It was the next day. I mean, the rates went up that quickly.
Wow. Well, I think everybody was just in such shock that Trump won because I didn't think that was a scenario. Now you through your economic studies and the ebbs and flows of money, you come up with these protheses, these theories, or do you have a whole team back in the back office telling you what to type on those very informing emails you send?
I mean, I'm an App State grad, so it wasn't me that comes up with this stuff. It took me a few extra years to get through it. So, I really, this is my life, and I love information on rates, and I have a bunch of different sources and that I read up on every day, and just really get in tune with everything. But it's not me that's coming up with this stuff. I mean, I'll hear something and read a few things and watch a few videos and say, okay, well, this, and kind of put it all together and come up with my own opinion, but usually it's backed by
So how does somebody listening, I'm going to give you a plug right now because I think it's so intriguing. And we're in this world, so I think about it a lot more often and know a lot more about it, I think, than your average person out on the street. How they earn a living is something completely different from how we earn a living. How can they read this weekly update that you send? Do you have it posted anywhere, or
I have an email distribution list that I can send out.
So can you give them your email? Somebody can email you if they're interested in getting your update?
Absolutely. And with that, it comes with the rates as well, what the rates are. But email is Brick, BRICKM, at CunninghamMortgage.com.
Brick house.
That's right.
Man. He picked the right industry, didn't he?
Got a great foundation, that Brick McDermott.
Brick, on one of your emails, I'm looking at this sheet, and this is pretty cool. You're talking about buying now versus waiting, and you give a couple of different examples where if you buy now, the rate, when you sent this out, I think the average rate was around 4.01, and it kind of tells you what your payment would be. And then also, I think you put some appreciation on what the home value might be worth in the next year. And what I think is cool is you break it out by what the monthly saving is, annual at over 30 years. And you were assuming, it looks like about a 5% increase in price, and the rate going up to 4.8% over 30 years. If you were to wait, and those things hold true, according to your model, which Trent's Harvard folks didn't fact check this thing. I mean, it's $67,000 is what you would save over a 0.79% interest rate increase.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even, I mean, rates are still good right now, and the difference between a 4.25% rate and a 5.25% rate, depending on the loan amount, it's a couple $100 a month.
Big.
That's serious money.
And that's mostly interest. I mean, it's all interest.
It's all interest.
It's all interest. 100%
interest. Money
no
too.
principal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Because your principal don't change.
That's right. That's right. for a 30-year fix, probably the first 4 years is mainly interest, and then you start getting into that principal after that.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, we're in the construction. You're listening to At Home with Roby. If you're just joining us, we have Brick McDermott from my little McDermott.
With the T.
I'm going to mess it up every time. He's a Little League rival of mine from Dilworth Little League, hailing from the Orioles.
Champions.
But he's with Cunningham Mortgage.
Get
and
Trent
he's
fired
here.
up, Rick.
It's a great tie-in. This is the fourth time having him on the show, and it's been great to kind of follow what the rates are doing with the market and with who's in power and all that and what's coming down the line. But I've said this before, Brick. Back in 2001, 2, 3, 4, I used to say to my father all the time, man, if rates were ever below 5%, we'd buy everything we could buy because the money's so cheap. It's a great investment with cheap money, and your interest payments are less. And that was back when I got I think my first home loan was 7.75%, and I thought that was a good deal. What is the sweet spot? Because I watch TV and I listen to economists talk all the time, and they go, hey, there's nothing bad with the little rate increase, but what is the absorption? What can we absorb on rate increase and still have a bullish home buying market? That's what we're looking for.
Tough question.
Very tough question, but a good one.
A great question.
A great question, Trent.
Hey, we don't make things easy here on At Home with Roby.
Well,
this is hard-hitting journalism, okay?
Well, he isn't hitting his people up. His people are back home.
Yeah, they're working in the back
I know
office.
you got
Can
an
we take
opinion.
a quick break so I can make a call?
I know you have an opinion on this. Let's hear it, Brick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no answer's wrong here.
Well, my thought is that, right now, Charlotte especially, I mean, the appreciation every year, month over month, you're probably at 5-6%. And the areas closer to Charlotte, historic areas, probably neighborhoods, are probably even 8%. So the appreciation's there. I think with the interest rates going up, that means the economy is getting better. So that means that people and wages will hopefully begin to increase more. And with higher wages, there's more money in the pocket, and you can afford more. Everything needs to be, it can't be knee-jerk reactions, it can't be quick. Needs to be a gradual increase in everything. As long as everything increases gradually, then I think the economy can support
it. Can run with it. I mean,
exactly.
It's kind of what they say. It's like nobody wants inflation. This is a form of inflation. When interest rates rise, it's a form of inflation. Nobody wants inflation because things cost more. But it's also a leading indicator of a feeling of how things are going, and a bullish market has some inflation. Some inflation is healthy versus deflation.
You're right.
So, and Trent, I mean, to your point earlier, I think he said your first mortgage was 7.75. Mine was 6 3/8 in 2006. But the 40-year historic average on mortgage rates is like over 8%. I mean, so we're still. I believe that's what you told us last time. I could be getting those numbers wrong, but we're still well below the historic average.
Oh, we're in great shape. And as long as it's a gradual increase, I think we're going to be okay.
And there was a big scare before the election talking about the depreciation of the interest payment on your home mortgage. Mm-hmm. Is that right? The deduction, excuse me, not the depreciation. I always mess words up. The deduction. I mean, is that safe now, rolling into the Trump bump?
Well, I think so. I mean, if he takes away number one, Congress won't allow that. But if he takes away that deduction, then the housing market is in trouble.
I think we're all in trouble.
I don't think he's doing it. That was an easy question.
Let's hope not. But, especially right next to the days before the election, a bunch of stuff gets thrown out there.
They were talking about it. I think it was a scare tactic by the media. Yep. Oh, we're not on the radio, are we? Oh, crap. We are the media. Man.
I would think the HBAs of the world, the Chamber of Commerce, the National Association of Realtors, the mortgage industry, I mean, they couldn't let that happen.
Think there's too many constituents and bureaucrats to keep the mortgage interest deduction in place into the future?
It's got to be.
All right.
You heard it here first.
We're going to go to a break, and when we return, we're going to continue our wonderfully educational discussion with Brick McDermott.